Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, July 5, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call tonight at around 9 p.m. Eastern. Enlightenment is the moment when the wave realizes that it is the water. Thick, not on. It's the key to our evolution as a species, a civilization. Enlightenment. It moves us to be fully enlightened, means to free us from the ego mind, from all pain and suffering, disappointment, arrogance. It's not given to us because we already are. We already have it. We just haven't discovered it. So it's more like a great spiritual liberation within ourselves. And we're on this journey partly to learn how to cultivate its presence in our lives. And as we are the masters of it all in the end, we are the masters of it all in the end. Our enlightenment is destined to find us in this lifetime or the next. It is on its way. We simply need to get out of the way and understand how to receive it. When the mind stops all searching in the outer for fulfillment and finally comes to relax home in your very core, the realization is discovered that enlightenment was always there, just buried deep within our being. We all experience suffering. We all experience suffering in this life because of one little thing. One little thing. I don't know if it's little. Ignorance. If you have a civilization that is totally ignorant to the truth, to its origin, to its destination, to its existence, to its power, you have what we have today. If we take the word ignore and add a little dance to it, you get ignorance. When we ignore the truth of our infinite being, our ignorance expands and soon transfers us onto the path of suffering. To transcend our ignorance and find spiritual freedom in our lives again, the intention for a deeper awareness is needed. We must welcome the most profound state of consciousness we can imagine by simply opening up to our own consciousness. We can release anything instantly that would make us suffer. Nothing more than pure awareness is needed to transcend this illusion and recover the liberating truth of who we are. The reason that we haven't progressed, think about it, as a species, we've been convinced that we have, but we haven't. And I'm talking mostly the emotionality of the body, the origin of all of our existence as gods, where these bodies were made, how they were made, what's the purpose of the body? Well, we do know that the purpose of the body is for the civilization, the God, the conscious, pure consciousness, and beyond, to have the opportunity to experience physical life. Physical life. And that's what we do. And we end up liking it so much, but yet we have what we call no memory. We do have a recorded vault, if you will, which is actually our subconscious mind, which records everything. Now, the subconscious mind will record everything in every lifetime, not missing anything. When you learn how to tap into it, you will see anything and everything that you desire, and probably some things that you really don't desire. So we are a group of gods existing in physical, organic forms to experience those forms and create a material, physical world so those forms can be active in. When we ignore the truth of our infinite being, our ignorance expands and soon transfers us onto the path of suffering. To transcend our ignorance and find spiritual freedom in our lives again, the intention for a deeper awareness is needed. So we must choose to welcome the most profound state of consciousness that we can imagine. By simply opening up to our own consciousness, we can release anything instantly that would make us suffer. Nothing more than pure awareness is needed to transcend this illusion and rediscover the liberating truth of who we are. Each moment of our lives has the potentiality to become the most liberating, healing, enlightening experience we can handle. The more open, ready, and willing we are to receive something magnificent, the easier and faster the magic comes flooding in. When you are ready for enlightenment, it will find you. You will not find it. You don't have to strive for it. In fact, the harder you work for it, the further it moves away from you. The harder you work for it, the further it moves away from you. Just make it your priority to totally relax and enjoy your life. Fully surrender to your real self, to the God that you are within that body. Explore who you truly are, what you really want, and what your purpose on earth actually is on a spiritual level. Life is wild, love is wild, and God is absolutely wild. Those who are wild always reach enlightenment. Osho. Now we can choose to do these exercises, if you will. You call them whatever you want, mantras. You be open to the new and release your ego's need to be right about anything. You ever go through a situation where you're talking with people, right? And everybody's talking, and people bring up certain things, and you say to yourself, well, I know for a fact that they're wrong. And you get that big surge, that urge to come out and say, you're wrong, that's not true. This is what's true. That's ego mind. That's absolute ego mind. Okay? Now, in an enlightened being, they don't respond to any of that. They aren't interested in it. What do I need? Why do I need to tell this person that they're wrong? Maybe this is a lesson that they need to learn. Okay? Being compelled to, in group discussions and interactions, or with just one person, or yourself, of being right or wrong. It's an ego thing. So be open to the new and release your ego's need to be right about anything. Being right can be the hardest ego trip to get off of, and yet causes a major amount of suffering. If the ego believes it's wrong about any one little thing, it starts feeling insecure that you basically could be wrong. about everything in your entire life. Whatever the mind believes is true always becomes our reality in that moment. The colored lens that we perceive our world with today becomes how the world tends to appear for us tomorrow. If everyone around you, from birth to death, says that life is this hard, painful, and unfair experience, and you believe them, then now how will you ever learn how to relax, let go, trust, and enjoy living in this amazing universe? If we think we must fight to get what we want in life, we end up manifesting a very serious, challenging ride. If we think we must fight to get what we want in this life, we end up manifesting a very serious, challenging ride. To experience love, enlightenment, and freedom, we must choose to step over our ego and be open to a completely new experience of life in each moment. Our inner and outer world is one massive playground. Learn how to be free and have fun within your life. Think of each new day as your chance to step on a very interesting and comical life stage. You can choose any hat to wear, lens to see through, or fascinating role you desire to play. Let go of doing and practice simply being. Let go of doing and practice simply being. See, we're trained the opposite of that. You got to be doing. You got to be accomplishing. You've got to be doing something all the time. Or what happens? Ego mind makes you feel guilty, okay? Uncomfortable, discomforted. I can't just sit here and do nothing. I got to be doing things. I got to be productive. See, we have this concept and understanding that productive is in movement. Okay. But when you're just being, you're productive. How many people can be silent and alone? You sit still, be silent and alone. It has become, on this planet, it has become abnormal for people to just relax. Abnormal on this planet for people just to relax. Sit still, be silent and alone. Doaholics have become the social norm on this planet. Many people avoid meditation because they think it is boring. I don't have time for that. You don't have time for 5 to 6 minutes? No, I don't have time for that. That's been a dilemma for generations in this country alone. Yeah, a lot of people won't meditate because they feel they have failed at it, which is, again, ego-mind influence. Trying to quiet their mind after a few random attempts. When we realize that all of our suffering, chaos, and illness in this life is caused by our inability to quiet the mind, we will spend more time practicing being present and less invested in doing something, thinking it will take us somewhere better than being here. Eventually, with enough time spent practicing being present to the now, we discover our real infinite nature inside. We realize we are spiritual beings and have everything we were looking for and so much more. Greatest mystics in history all discovered enlightenment when they were simply being quiet, relaxed, and fully in the here and now. When their big awakening happened, they were not trying to do anything. This is the great mystery of this life, of any life, of life in general. And mastery of the mind is by far the greatest achievement mankind can ever have. The experience of being here now, feeling one with the infinite, all-powerful and omnipotent universal God force is enough. It is empowering and highly enlightening to redefine all those old definitions of what it means to get somewhere special. In your life. Being free from our family's unconscious myths and society's deep, ignorant programming. Being free from our family's unconscious myths and society's deep, ignorant programming. When you were a child, what was communicated to you about anything of this? Any enlightenment, anything. Did any of us have anybody that had a clue what enlightenment was or how to experience an enlightened state of bliss? No, you know what they would say? Those are tree huggers. Those are hippies. Crazy, loony. Did anyone ever show you how to open your chakras, meditate, or communicate with God? Most likely, everyone around you was more or less spiritually lost. And then telling you what they believed would make you happy and loved and successful in life. They wanted the best for you, yet ended up communicating to you how to be unhappy, unenlightened through their actions, belief system, and behavior. If you go back and think about your childhood, what do you remember was the typical standard story you were told that made you feel like a failure, isolated, unloved, or a sense of separation? What was it? What belief system did you inherit from your family that created massive limits on how you feel about yourself and life today, in this very now moment? You may have heard some message like, you need an education, you need to become somebody. There just isn't enough time for that. We can't afford that. You cannot be, do, or have XYZ. You are just too much of a blah, 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 blah. And then naturally, we are all very gullible as children, yet if we did not become identified with our family's limiting belief system, we may not be here. If we didn't think like they did, they might have stopped feeding us, pushed us out, thrown us out the door, pushed us out of the tribe. We needed to think small, do what we were told, and obey the one in charge in order to remain accepted, loved, and alive. From the moment we were born, we all received the idea that this unenlightened state of this life was the norm. You may have seen all the insane world problems on the nightly TV news and thought that this was how the entire world operated, and mass suffering was just the way things were. And I see this today. It's absolutely spot on. In fact, it's even stronger. You ask somebody, what is the highest supreme value in the universe? What do you think they're going to say? Will they know? Life. What is life? God. Highest supreme value in the universe. Life. And yet we're taught that this unenlightened state of life was the norm. And that all this crap was how the entire world operated, and mass suffering was just the way things were. As we became teenagers, we either rebelled or became assimilated into the unenlightenment system. Excuse me. And fell deeper into the story of separation. The more we accepted or rebelled from our community, the greater our feelings of lack, isolation, and struggle grew inside. Being surrounded by unenlightened people was an enormous lose-lose situation. To make matters worse, we were forced to attend some jail-like education system, which worked about maybe 3% of our brain's potentiality, and was designed to churn once brilliant, creative kids through a social formatting grinder so they became hard workers for the system. We were taught wonderful lies that everyone believed to be true, like how a human life expectancy should only be 75 to 100 years old, when really our DNA can last at least, minimum, 300 years. We were told that, and understand that what that means, it means that everybody, just about everybody on this planet, would discover who and what they are. Huge. Would discover to go within and stay within, would discover that they are a supreme, immortal being. A supreme, powerful, immortal being that's inside that mind. They would know, everybody on this planet would know, after 300 years, 600 years, 700 years, 1,000 years, you would know. What would that do? Greatly accelerate us. Not that we're in a hurry, but accelerate the civilization. With knowledge, not ignorance. Ignorance is evil, knowledge is power. We were told, most of us were told, not all, some exceptions, we were told that we would have to work really, really, really hard to have a home. Limited energy, resources, food, knowledge, and power. We were never taught to rebel against authority, think freely, independently, or even consider the possibility of becoming spiritually enlightened. Were you taught that when you were growing up? The school system made it illegal to teach children how to find a deep inner connection with the infinite source. It was not important to learn how to meditate, heal your body through your breath, how to make tantric love, master your mind through totally quietness and stillness, enjoy all your emotions, know the infinite truth of who you are, or how to achieve absolute inner freedom and bliss. This society all around us, even more so, is hypnotizing adults and their children to believe that success is all about achieving a higher level of status, money, and career. Our poor education system is still in its twisted, corrupted infancy and simply has never had a large dose of enlightenment. So it doesn't know any better. There are many awakened beings in this world today. There are. It's always been a tug of war, you know. How many enlightened? How many aren't? Who's awake? Who's not awake? We got to wake more people up. There's not enough woken up. There are many awakened beings in this world today who know the truth, that real success in life, this life, is defined by how liberated, spiritually rich, loving, and enlightened we are as human beings. This world is slowly waking up, one person at a time. People are beginning to see that happiness is not something you can attain from striving to achieve the right income, status, career, marriage, or diploma. Striving to reach these things will only distract you from walking your spiritual path and discover the most rewarding life experience of them all. Remember that whatever limited ideas that you received from your family or school system were their limitations and not yours. They were their limitations. When you stop and give back those beliefs, you can reclaim your spiritual freedom again within yourself. The limiting beliefs handed down from your family run deep in your blood, and it will take every ounce of awareness inside you to see them. Freedom will occur when they are fully seen, felt into, and released from your mental, emotional body as well as your subconscious mind. You can run the tape back in your subconscious mind. You can edit things. You can look at them, review them. You can play them back, say, no, I don't need that one. I don't care to have that anymore in there. So you can subtract, clean up, regroup, reorganize, restructure, and add new things. Okay? Because remember, the subconscious mind is the massive, major, universal recorder, storage. We must choose to forgive all these people of their unenlightened programming because we are ever to be fully free. If we are ever to be fully free, we got to let go of it all of it. You know, bad mother, bad father, bad this, bad that, poor experience, bad life, bad childhood. You know, there's always going to be things that the ego mind conjures up that we drag with us. I know some people that drag it all the way to their grave. They just hang on to this hate and anger and revenge, and I mean, it's horrible to watch. When everything is fully seen, felt into, and released from your mental, emotional body, as well as your subconscious mind, and then you forgive all of these unenlightened programming, all these people that programmed you. It's as if we're ever going to be fully free. That's what we must do. It's all our karmic. It's all karmic, and nobody is to blame. They simply were not taught by their parents how to live in a constant state of wonder and amazement in their lives while doing daily tasks like changing diapers, cutting the grass, going to work, paying their bills. When we forgive them and see how they were not raised by fully self-realized, self-actualized, enlightened beings, we can easily forgive ourselves for the limiting beliefs and negative feelings about ourselves that we inherited. Be outrageous and stop hiding from your spiritual power in some safe little hut. We can often hide from our life mission. Many do. And spiritual purpose in our mind. Thoughts are safe, while real life experiences out there seem dangerous, scary, and unsafe. Life is inherently insecure because death is always potentially around the next corner. We might find it easier to not take risks and go for our big dreams in life for fear of getting hurt or lost in the wild ocean. When we only choose to stay safe, comfy, basically dead, inside our little comfortable huts of old habits, we only do the things that once gave a sense of confidence and security and stop growing completely. Have you ever noticed that? You ever notice this? You get to a certain point, right? And you feel like you're kind of over for you. You know, you've done this, you've done that. Now it's just to go and wait, right? Just wait. Don't take chances. Don't take risks. For you, life is pretty much over. And that's what you decide. Too old to do this, too old to do that, can't do this, can't do that. What's the point? And when that happens, we stop growing completely. Life is this beautiful natural chaos with a divine cosmic structure. Our lives are this daily adventurous roller coaster ride that we need to learn how to enjoy. This life was designed from the very beginning to be fun, because we just don't know exactly how things will turn out, do we now? You won't know until the last second how you will respond to what someone says, or how you'll make the most important decision you need to make. Each experience in our lives is here for our spiritual growth. Each boring, exciting, or normal experience is meant to expand us, help us see and feel the entire ocean around us. Now, and yes, jump out of our safe little hut. And walk on the earth, the ocean of existence. It's easy to do. Simply stop thinking about your life and actually start enjoying the one you're living, feeling, and breathing in now. Simply stop thinking about your life and actually start enjoying the one you're living, feeling, and breathing in now. Now, this is a big twist for us because, again, we were pre-programmed by other people's thoughts. They were too, they were, and then, more, and on. Embracing and loving every fear that arises. How many people can do that? The less fear we are holding in the body, the more we can relax and open ourselves up to experiencing a more expansive, enlightened state of consciousness. All fears are simply emotionally contracted thoughts invented by a mind that still believes it is disconnected from the source. Isn't that amazing? All fears are simply emotionally contracted thoughts invented by a mind that still believes it is disconnected from the source. So we have evidence that appears real. Right? Isn't that crazy? Fear. False evidence appearing real. So it's fake. Now, you can do it expertly enough. It does seem real, doesn't it? But it's fake. nonsense, crap, garbage, all of it. But it sure draws us in. To transcend any fear, first discover what you are deeply afraid of. See, that's the key for all of us. What is it that we're all deeply afraid of? Everybody's different, they have different fears that they're deeply afraid of. Now, you can access any fear by opening yourself up to another person intimately in conversation, letting the other peer into you. Soon you'll be able to see deeper into yourself and understand exactly what you are running from in your life. Once you know what you are running away from, run towards it. Welcome it in. Welcome it into your heart with a big embrace. This approach will dissolve any fear instantly. And in time, it will be completely released from our bodies. The more practice we have in embracing our fears, the easier it becomes to find total relaxation so that we can access our full spiritual connection within our consciousness. How many people, maybe yourself included, are constantly trying to improve or fix themselves because they feel broken, maybe twisted. They don't feel the best they can be. All these things, they want to improve or fix themselves on a continual basis. Now, of course, this is ego mind, because ego mind is never satisfied. So always got to find something, got to do this, got to do that. I got to fix this, got to fix that. How often do you find yourself trying to replace your negative thoughts and feelings with positive ones? How much of your life has been spent trying to heal yourself or your mind? Is all the effort and energy you're putting into improving you actually making you relax into the experience that you are already divine, already sacred, deeply lovable, and already connected to the God source? Now, the result from continuously fixing, improving, and healing yourself is perpetuating the feeling of, I am not okay exactly as I am. Any unconscious self-improvement habit is just another egoic dis-ease. Real problem is not what it appears to be. Go to the root of the matter, which is this dualistic mind, and uproot the entire I'm broken and need to be fixed emotional program. Realize that who you are is neither these negative or positive thoughts, yet the consciousness and awareness behind them. Only through pure awareness will you be able to stop the habit of trying to change, fix, and improve yourself, and instead surrender deeply into the spiritual sacred core of your being, where self-realization is. Embracing, enjoying the practice of quieting the incessant, chattering, repetitive mind. Our mind is a limited conglomeration of ideas and beliefs about who we think we were, we are, and what reality is. It behaves much like a computer that is unaware of itself and just spits out information that was programmed into it. The mind is like a machine, so It is not conscious. The mind is a horrible master and a wonderful servant. We need to train the mind so that we can use it instead of being used by it. It cannot remain in the present moment. It must keep moving with ideas that engage the past and future to remain in control of you. When we quiet the mind, we regain control of it. The more we can practice paying attention to the stillness and silence that is behind the chattering mind, the less power the mind has over you, and the less you'll get trapped in your limited ego or identity. The word ego is really just an acronym for excluding God's omnipresence. Through the constant awareness of our ego, we can bypass the mind and access this omnipresent divine spiritual energy inside us. We can discover our natural enlightened state. We become aligned with the bigger truth, and that we already are infinite spiritual beings who have been given the gift of a limited physical human expression with illusionary challenges that make us grow. When the mind is quiet, we can enjoy this divine play. And find real peace with the entire dynamic. We find full acceptance that we are both the ego and spirit, and know all is perfect as it is. Releasing all attachments and aversions to everyone and everything. That's a toughie, huh? Releasing all attachments and aversions to everyone and everything. And as humans, we all know we tend to get attached to or avoid certain thoughts and feelings we believe will make us happy or unhappy. We get into habits of resisting life and trying to control our experience so that we get what we think will only bring us joy and avoid what makes us unhappy. We even create these patterns based on what others say, feel, and believe, and ignore our own inner voice and connection. This attachment and avoidance habit manifests because deep down we feel disconnected from our spiritual source. We are still trying to find some form of security by controlling our reality. When we were young, we saw others avoiding what is painful and remaining attached to what is pleasurable, and believed this is how it should be done. The enlightened state shows up when we listen to our heart and stop being attached to or avoiding anything. We listen to our heart and stop being attached to or avoiding anything. When we understand that this life is like a pendulum designed to swing and give us both experiences of pain and pleasure, we can transform them both. We can transcend them both. By accepting this natural pendulum swing, we become free from being the one who always needs to be in control and running the show. Pain and suffering are just the universe's way of telling us to let go and trust the flow. The purpose of feeling pain is not to create more suffering, yet for you to wake up and create an immediate new life change, this change is necessary for you to evolve and eventually drop all identity with your ego trip so you can return to your spiritual source. By allowing yourself to let go of your mind's attachments and aversions, you can genuinely enjoy your life again. You then start energetically communicating to the universe that you are abundant, thankful, happy, beautiful, and free. This experience allows you to expand in consciousness, deepen your connection to your infinite source inside. Being free of the illusion that you're separate from the infinite source of love, energy, and connection. A lot of people feeling separate and disconnected from our universe. This is the unenlightened state. We become enlightened when we are continuously aware how deeply and intimately connected we already are. The illusion of separation is not an accident or coincidence. This universe is extremely intelligent. Every feeling of separation is needed so that coming spiritually home is that much more amazing. The polarization of separation, unification, breeds a truly juicy, alive, and incredible experience of life. When we become enlightened, we will see the full illusion and know how to stop manifesting another experience of loss, failure, or separation again. The illusion that we are not connected to the divine is karmic. It stems from lifetimes of our mind's attachment and avoidance of limiting ideas of who and what we think we are. Once we untangle ourselves from our fun, sticky karmic mess, we will remember that we were always one energy, one sea of consciousness, and always connected with our source. All experiences of suffering simply drop away when we pay closer attention to who we truly are. Join in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in from the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Give yourself the gift of self-love. You are so precious exactly the way you are. Nothing about you needs to change. Notice how it feels to stop improving yourself and relax into simply being you. It's so easy loving you. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. And we will return here tonight at around 9 p.m. Eastern for the Time for Change call. And Thursday, July 6th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be of the highest high, deepest of the deepest eternal gratitude at all times. And watch the magic happen, no matter what's going on around you.